Are you in the market for a new pop-up tent but not sure which one to get? Pop-up tents make camp setup and pack down super easy, but there are a ton of different options out there and it can be difficult to choose the right one for you. In this video, I will take you through the best pop-up tents in Australia. First, I'll introduce you to my top 4 picks, then I'll compare each of these models against a number of criteria such as price, weight, and waterproofing ability to see which one comes out on top. As always, you can find the links to each of these tents in the as well as the latest prices in the video description below, and there's also a link to the full comparison on my website, outdoorexplorer.com.au. Let's get started. The 4 tents that I'll be taking you through today are, first up, the Explore Planet Earth Speedy 4 Black Hole. This is an outstanding tent and my number 1 pick when it comes to pop-up tents in Australia. It is built really well, has excellent waterproofing, and is backed by a 3-year warranty. However, the best thing about this tent is that the tent material is actually sunlight blocking. This makes it easy to sleep in beyond the crack of dawn when you are out camping. It also has built-in LED lighting so that you can use the tent during the day or night. Second is the Kmart 3-person pop-up tent. I know that not everyone has the budget to afford some of the better quality pop-up tents out there, so I've included this cheapie from Kmart. While it is very cheap, it is noticeably smaller and poorer quality than the other models that I discuss in this video. The tent material feels very thin, and I only recommend it for use in fair weather, as it is only really water repellent and not actually waterproof. Third is the Outdoor Connection Easy Up 4. This is another really well built tent from Outdoor Connection. It is spacious, has great ventilation, and has large doors on both ends for easy access. Lastly, we have the Malamu Sakara 3.0 pop-up tent. This is the largest and most spacious pop-up tent on this list, thanks to a large vestibule at the front of the tent, which is very useful for storing your gear. Despite its large size, it's still relatively affordable. Unfortunately, a number of people that have used this tent have complained that the poles are quite flimsy and are prone to breaking quite easily. Oztent claim to have fixed this in their latest model, so hopefully that's the case. All of these are 4-person tents, except for the Kmart one, which only comes in a 3-person variety. In saying that, the Kmart tent can actually only comfortably sleep 2 people, so it is considerably smaller than the other tents. The other tents all come in a variety of sizes, ranging from 1-person up to 4-person sizes. Let's now see how they compare against each other. Alright, so the first thing we'll take a look at is how the price compares for each of these pop-up tents, and you can see that most of them, apart from the Kmart tent, are all sitting in that $200 to $300 range, with the Speedy Black Hole and the Outdoor Connection tent being right on $300 basically, and the Malamu Sakara being a little bit cheaper down there at about $230. The Kmart tent is far cheaper than the rest, sitting at around $50. So yeah, I do recommend the Kmart tent if you are on quite a tight budget and your budget can't stretch to afford some of these other more premium tents. But as you'll soon see, that by going with the Kmart, you do it is a lot cheaper, but it does lack the quality that these other tents do have. Of course, these prices are correct at the time of me shooting this video, but they will change over time, so please check out the video description for links to the latest prices, as well as to the price comparison on my website, where you can access the latest prices from all of the retailers. So next up, we have the sleeping area for each of these tents. And basically the Malamu Sakara is far and above the largest tent when it comes to sleeping area. I've got it down here at 8 square meters, but that's actually a little bit of a guess, as they don't give the precise sleeping area. The area they give includes the vestibule at the front of the tent, which is fairly large, so I've made an allowance for that, and I'm estimating about 8 square meters, maybe a little bit less for the actual sleeping area. In any case, it's far higher than the other tents, so yeah, you can see that you do get a lot more extra area there. And that's even considering that it is cheaper than the Speedy Black Hole in the Outdoor Connection tent. The Kmart tent is the smallest by quite a way, at only 4 square meters. It's really only suitable for 2 people in my opinion, even though they do call it a 3-person pop-up tent. It is quite a bit smaller, so just do consider that. Even though it is cheaper than these other models here, it's kind of not really on the same level playing field, because it is actually more of a 2-person tent. If you were to look at the 2-person tent of each of these other varieties, you would find them to be far cheaper and a little bit more comparable to the Kmart tent in that case. So the cost difference is not so great when you factor in the smaller size of the Kmart tent. Next up, we have the internal head height, which is kind of just giving you a feel for how roomy the tent is. can you sit up fully inside the tent, or is it a really low squat tent where it feels really like you haven't got much space above you? Does it feel like a little bit claustrophobic? And you can see that the Kmart tent there is really quite short at just 105 centimeters of internal head height. So it does feel a little bit claustrophobic in there. You can sit up fully inside the tent, but you don't have a lot of clearance above your head. It's quite tight there. Your head, for a tall person, your head will probably be brushing the top of the tent when you sit up. Whereas the other tents have a fair bit more space there. And again, the Malamu Sakara comes out on top with 145 centimeters of internal head height there, as well as being the largest for overall sleeping area. So yeah, the Malamu is definitely the most spacious tent on this list. Next up, we have the packed volume. If you're just going to be throwing the tent in your car and driving it everywhere that you're going to be using it, this is not such a big deal for you, I suppose, assuming that you've got plenty of space in your boot to store it. But you can see here that there is a pretty big difference in the packed volume of these tents. With the Kmart one, of course, being much a smaller tent, packs away to a much smaller volume as well, whereas the Outdoor Connection is actually fairly bulky when packed up, comparatively speaking. In saying that, all these tents don't take up a huge amount of space. If you're transporting them in your car, you won't really notice the extra volume that the Outdoor Connection tent takes up there. So yeah, that's not really too big a deal in my opinion. Weight is a bit of a similar one. If you are going to be carrying the tent a lot, this is important for you, but most people won't be. They'll be chucking it in the boot, and they'll be pulling up to where they're going to camp and chucking the tent straight out onto your campsite. So it's not a big deal, but you can see again that the Kmart tent is much lighter than the other ones. In saying that, the other models are in the 6 to 7 kilogram range, which is still quite light and very easy for one person to carry on their own, no problem. So yeah, they're all quite light tents, thankfully. Next up is the season rating for each of these tents, and season rating is basically a number assigned to tents to give you an indication of what kind of weather they can be used in, whether they're suitable for winter camping or just for kind of summer and autumn, spring camping. And all of the tents here are rated as 2 to 3 season tents, whereas the Kmart tent doesn't actually give a season rating, so that may be indicative of it not being suitable for perhaps more adverse weather conditions. And you can see as well with the waterproof rating on the fly for each of these tents, the Speedy Black Hole comes out on top with a nice 3000 millimeter waterproof rating, and the Outdoor Connection and Malamu are also pretty good at 2000 millimeters there. The Kmart tent is actually only has a rating of 1000 millimeters, so it's right in that borderline where it's actually barely considered waterproof, more just of a water repellent material. And that's why I don't really recommend using the Kmart tent if you think you might be camping in rain or any kind of adverse weather, because it's probably not really suitable for that. It's really a tent meant for really fair weather camping. Nothing too serious when it comes to weather there. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. Next up, we have ventilation of the tent. And this is quite important for 2 reasons. Firstly, in summer, you want plenty of ventilation in your tent to help you get some fresh air in there and keep you cool. But in winter, ventilation is important, as you'll find that if you have a tent with poor ventilation, that you get an accumulation of condensation in your tent overnight, as the air in the tent humidifies and becomes more moist. And then as it cools down when it hits the edge of the tent, then you end up with condensation forming. You end up with a lot of water inside your tent. So it's important you have a tent with some decent ventilation. And you can see that the Speedy Black Hole and the Outdoor Connection both have excellent ventilation. They've got plenty of access doors and windows to help you clear out, get some fresh air in your tent. People have said that the Malamu is not so good. There aren't so many windows, although the double access doors do help in that regard as well. Unfortunately, the Kmart 3-person tent is considered to have quite poor ventilation, and that you do get quite a bit of condensation building up in that tent overnight, unfortunately. And also the lack of ventilation also means that it'll be quite a hot tent in summer as well. So keep that in mind. Another important one is the warranty period that you get with your tent. And you can see that the Speedy Black Hole 4 comes with a 3-year warranty, which is really excellent. That's quite good for a pop-up tent, especially when you consider the kind of high wear and tear environment that they tend to operate in. The Malamu comes with a 2-year warranty and the Outdoor Connection with a 1-year warranty. The Kmart tent does not come with any manufacturer's warranty, unfortunately, just the 3-month statutory warranty that all products in Australia are required to provide. So just keep that in mind. That, yeah, you are saving a lot of money with the Kmart 10, but you really don't have much of a warranty at all if it breaks after a couple of months of using it. Whereas with the Explore Planet Earth Speedy Black Hole, you'll get a nice 3-year warranty. So it might be worth stomping up a little bit extra money for it in that regard. Lastly, is a bit of a subjective measure, but the build quality, and this is just how well each of the tents feel like they've been built. And the outdoor connection wins here. A lot of people say that they feel like this is a really sturdy, well-built tent. It's got a lot of nice features to it. The zips feel great. Everything feels like it's built to last, and you'll get plenty of years of life out of it. The Malamu, on the other hand, people have said that the tent poles are not very good on this tent and they can break quite easily, although Oztent claim that they have fixed this in their latest model of this tent, the latest version. So hopefully that issue is resolved now. The Kmart 10, it is very cheap, as I've said many times, and the build quality is considerably lower, as you would expect for it being so cheap. The material feels very thin, the waterproofing's poor, the zips aren't very good. And it's really just a tent for really light use camping in fair weather. It's not built for kind of the rugged Australian outback. You know, I wouldn't use it in any kind of severe weather conditions. So yeah, that's how each of these tents basically stack up. To sum it up, the Speedy Black Hole 4 is my recommendation for the best pop-up tent in Australia. It is a great tent at a very reasonable price. I love the sunlight blocking and the built-in LED lighting. It means that you can actually sleep in a bit, unlike other tents which let in a ton of sunlight as soon as the sun comes up. If you are on a very tight budget and you're sure that you won't be camped in any rain or poor weather, the Kmart tent could be an option for you. Just keep in mind that it is only suitable for 2 people and that it doesn't come with a manufacturer's warranty. If your budget can stretch a little bit further, the Outdoor Connection Easy Up 4 is a high quality unit that is well built and comes with nice extra features like access doors on both ends and large side windows. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this roundup of the best pop-up tents in Australia. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like and a subscribe. If you've tried any of these tents or are thinking of getting one or have any questions, let me know in the comments below.